I'm Jon Sleightholme. I'm the Recruitment and Talent Management Director at Mark Group, and my responsibility is to look after the talent acquisition and the management of that talent across Mark Group globally, both here in the UK, the US, and our businesses in Australia and New Zealand. So we work in what we would call the energy efficiency sector. So we predominantly work with homeowners, making their homes more energy efficient. We will do an assessment of their home to recommend the different measures that are applicable to their home where they can get energy efficiency savings from. We also work in the social housing sector as well, so we do a lot of work with social housing local authorities and social housing associations. We've got a very large commercial business, so we look at very large solar projects with businesses. So we've just done a couple of very big ones, and there's a couple of very big ones in the pipeline at the moment. So we've got about 3,000 employees worldwide at the moment. The vast majority of those are here in the UK, so about 2,400 employees in the UK. The vast majority of those are based in field, are either in sales and business development or our installation teams that will go and install solar panels, insulation. This is our head office here in Leicester. We've got all of our major functions based here, so HR, marketing, payroll, all of the major support functions for the teams in field as well. We've got growing businesses over in the US, which is probably the biggest market for us overseas. And that business is expanded and covers all of the eastern seaboard now, as we're opening up in Boston as we speak. So we cover pretty much everything from Washington, DC up to Boston now in the US. We've got total coverage now in Australia as well. So we cover the major east and west coast areas and the south coast of Australia, and plus as well the top to toe of New Zealand. So we can genuinely call ourselves now a global player in this energy efficiency market. When I first joined the business, which is 2.5 years ago now, we had a very frustrating kind of structure in terms of how things were managed. We didn't have the resources internally in terms of an in-house team to manage the agencies really that we're working with. There's a lot of third-party agencies and headhunters that we were working with back then, multiple different relationships with line managers and line directors, which was really challenging when we came in. So there's a lot of cultural change had to take place. We're building an in-house team. In terms of where we source them from, I guess mostly a lot of the traditional job boards, so a lot of traditional work like that. Increasingly over the last year or so, we've started to embrace the social media platforms, so particularly LinkedIn, Twitter. It's quite unique that you see a business of this size employing this many people with a global footprint that is still a privately owned and privately run company. So we've got a very strong financial background, built on very solid foundations financially, really family culture, DNA to the business. So it's a very large business, almost bordering on a small corporate organisation now, but we're not like that in terms of the mentality of the people that work here. It's still a very entrepreneurial, very fast-paced environment for people to be. Huge amounts of growth. We're in a very exciting industry that's got a huge amount of growth as well. There isn't a day goes by that there isn't something in the newspaper or on the television about energy prices or gas shortage, or, for example, the challenges we've just had out in Ukraine and Russia, which is causing problems and pressure in the energy market. So the market we work in is really very important at the moment that it's addressed on a global basis, and we're obviously in the right place at the right time.